Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Today will be a make or break video for this channel. And right at the start of the video, I wish to issue a warning. If you are hypersensitive about a number of subjects, including such as race and religion, please move on, as we shall be having an adult, unbiased, and logical discussion on a variety of issues. This video will be long, and if and when it becomes too much for me, I shall take a break and break it up in parts to give us all time to think and breathe. But let's see how it goes. The first thing I want to address is Harry and Meghan's marriage, the legalities of it, and the emotional aspect of it. A subscriber wrote to the Archbishop of Canterbury with regards to Meghan's claim of getting married in a garden at Kensington Palace 3 days prior to the big wedding. And here is what she wrote. Dear Archbishop Welby, it really is now time for you to stand up and be counted and addressed what is being said by the Sussexes. It is well known that you could not be at the christening, as you were at the General Synod meeting, but when asked, your office said no comment, thus supporting this woman in her lies. Did you marry them 3 days before the wedding, as they say? If this is true, then aren't you breaking the rules of your own church by marrying them again at Windsor? If you did not marry them 3 days before, then you need to call this out. They have been dragging a lot of people into their web of lies and deceit. You are the Archbishop of Canterbury, and they have dragged you into it. Do you not care about your position? Do you not care about Her Majesty the Queen and the monarchy? Do you not care about the people of this country? The time for silence is over, and you really need to stand up and make it absolutely clear about what you did and or did not do. Yours sincerely, and then my subscriber put her name. And here is the reply. Dear Ms., I'm not going to say her name, thank you for your recent email addressed to the Archbishop of Canterbury. Much as he would like to, the Archbishop is unable to respond personally and in detail to all the emails and letters that he receives. So I have been asked to reply to you on his behalf. I appreciate the sentiments which prompted you to write to the Archbishop on this matter, but as I'm sure you will appreciate, it is not our practice to comment on the private relationship of the Archbishop with members of the royal family. There is information on the Church of England website about the legal requirements of marriage in the Church of England, and then they attach the website address. Yours sincerely, and it's signed by Dominic Goodall, who is the correspondence manager to the Archbishop of Canterbury. There is one fundamental problem with the reply, and that is that a legal marriage is subjected to certain rules set by not only the church, but the law. Firstly, the marriage has to be conducted by a person authorized to register marriages. Secondly, it has to be conducted, and here it differs from country to country, but in most countries it states that the official ceremony has to take place at a register office, premises approved by a local authority such as an hotel, a church of the Church of England, that is in the UK, or Church of Wales, a synagogue, or any other private place if both parties are Jewish, any registered religious building, the home of one of the partners if one of the partners is housebound or detained, for example, a prison, a place where one partner is seriously ill and not expected to recover, for example, a hospital, a licensed naval, military, or Air Force chapel. Thirdly, the marriage has to be witnessed by two people and entered into the register and signed by both parties, two witnesses, and the person who conducted the ceremony. Fourth, the couple needs to provide certified copies of an identity document, proof of residence, or legal entry if you are not getting married in your own country, a copy of a death certificate or divorce decree if it is not your first marriage. And now for the doozy. In England and Wales, 28 days notice must be given to the register office before a marriage can take place. Now I would assume, because they were getting married in the church 3 days later, that they have already done so. However, the notice must state where the marriage is to take place. So I'm sure their notice did not state that the marriage was going to take place in a garden at Kensington Palace. So let us check Meghan's claim that they got married 3 days prior to the wedding. Was it conducted by an authorized person? Yes. Did it take place at or in a registered approved premises? No. Was it witnessed by two people? No. She said it was only the three of them. Did they provide copies of their identity documents? No, because she said the royal family took her identification off her. So if nobody knew about it, I would assume she didn't have her identification. So sorry, love. Sorry, Meghan. You were not married 3 days prior to the big wedding. You lied on Oprah and to the world. And now, Justin Welby, and I'm not going to call him the Archbishop until this matter is cleared up. Justin Welby is refusing to comment, which is, in the first place, disgusting, as he should not lie or lie by omission or by silence. It does not make him or his church look good. But having said that, what's the issue? If it happened, it happened. All he needed to do was confirm it. And all he needed to say was that it was a beautiful ceremony and two of the courtiers were called as witnesses. But he could not, could he? Because it did not happen. At most, it was a rehearsal or some romantic play acting. But that is not what Meghan Markle told Oprah, is it? The other issue is, we sort of expect Meghan to lie and embellish, but having it coming from the highest official of a Christian church is just not acceptable. Now, some people are saying maybe Meghan misunderstood. Really? Really? A woman who had been married and divorced before, who knows how many times? Really? That is laughable. It is not her first rodeo, remember? She lied, and I find it despicable that people are willing to, one, make excuses for her, two, apply selective hearing when it comes to the interview and choose to focus on what suits them to focus on and ignore the obvious lies. Anyway, I'm going to post a link in the description box and would be grateful if you can help us by sending a letter to the Archbishop asking for clarification. He can't possibly keep protecting Meghan Markle. Okay, let us talk about Piers Morgan and Ian Murray and others who have lost their jobs or left their jobs because of Meghan Markle. Yes, Piers Morgan and Ian Murray may be high-profile people and have significant amount of money stashed away, so we do not need to worry about their financial or economic well-being. But hearing the Queen issuing statements like extending Meghan and Harry an olive branch and dealing with the racism accusation privately just does not sit well with me, and neither the excuses the people are making, like Her Majesty is playing the long game. How long exactly is Her Majesty's long game? Another year? 2? 5? Or 10? I'm afraid it is most likely that Her Majesty will not be around in 10 years. So I'm afraid Her Majesty's long game is being foiled by nature, and there's nothing she, me, or you can do about that. Where would any of us be in 2, 3, 5, or 10 years? If there's anything that all of us had learned from the pandemic, is that none of us can be sure of a tomorrow, next month or next year, and that nothing that can be done today should be put off until tomorrow. Those courtiers who were bullied out of their jobs need justice, not in a year's time, but now. And as Meghan Markle had set the President herself to speak publicly about her perceived difficulties, so they should be allowed to speak publicly. We all know there are two sides to every coin, and we had now heard all of 2 hours of Meghan's side. So it is time to hear the other side. And that, my dear friends, is what is called justice. I listened to Piers Morgan, both clips in which he spoke about the interview. And if I'm honest, I may have done exactly what he did, no matter how unprofessional it may seem to walk out of a broadcast. Because, like Piers, I have certain values that I value higher than my popularity. What I saw was him defending the monarchy, and in particular Her Majesty the Queen. I fully understand his frustration as he was pointing out a fact. The fact that Archie was not given a title because he is not entitled to one, and not because of his colour. Piers was sticking to the facts, as I had given them in both of my previous videos. Yet the guest, in effect, insisted that if Meghan perceived it as racism, then it was racism. How utterly effing ridiculous. It is like saying Chris Watts perceived it to be okay to kill his family, and therefore it is okay and he should not be punished for it. Yes, my friends, it is exactly the same principle. And then I wonder how Piers feels today, hearing that Her Majesty wants to extend an olive branch to Harry and Meghan, and that she'll keep the investigation into the allegations private. Does he also feel as if he was hanged out to dry? And for those saying that as it was a family member who allegedly made the remark, it is a family matter, I respectfully disagree. Had it been dealt with privately, like most family arguments are, then yes. But Meghan unleashed the allegation on us publicly, and now we, the public, white, pink, black, blue, are part of it. And we deserve the truth. With love and respect to the Queen, she is wrong. So let us have a short talk about racism. What does Meghan Markle know about racism? So let us look at it. Meghan Markle had not experienced racism while at school, as both schools she attended were multiracial. She started straightening her hair while in high school. She joined a majority white sorority while at university, when she could have joined a sorority with a majority of black sisters. She only dated and married white men. Contrary to what the media may make you believe, we South Africans are not all racists. But I have seen racism, have experienced it, and even have ladies and men on this channel of all colors, creeds, and religions who write to me often, and we often discuss a variety of subjects. Real racism can take various forms, from not getting a job as a colored or mixed race person because you are not black enough or you are not white enough, not getting a job as a white person because their BEE quota had been filled, to being led into an ambush and being beaten to within an inch of your life. This, my friends, is real racism. And Meghan's suggesting that it's racism when someone pondering what her and Harry's child will look like is offensive to those who had experienced real racism. And let us just quickly look into what Meghan and Harry said about the alleged incident. Meghan said it was a conversation between Harry and a family member which took place while she was pregnant, and that Harry told her about it. Then Harry came on, and when asked about it, he said it took place in the early days and it was something he overheard. A completely different story, isn't it? So who's lying? Meghan, Harry, or both? And did it even happen? Yet, I have not seen one single mainstream newspaper highlighting the discrepancy and questioning the validity of their statements. Meghan is a lying promoter of racist divisiveness, and in the words of Lady C, a liar is a liar and colour has nothing to do with it. Above all else, and something not a single newspaper had highlighted, if the royal family was racist, Harry would not have been allowed to marry Meghan. I've not seen a single newspaper calling Harry out on lying about not being able to go on the back of a bicycle as a child, even though the photographs I posted came directly from their archives. However, I have now seen them finally putting it in the paper, but only after I and a number of people on Instagram have actually posted the photographs. And now talking about lies, I have proven to you that all royals except the Queen travel with passports. So who knows? Meghan's identification documents may have been taken temporarily to complete paperwork or for safekeeping. But under no circumstances was she ever trapped because she did not have her identification documents. Never. No way. It is a bold-faced lie. Even if we forget about the official visits, do you guys have any idea how many times Harry and Meghan left Britain for private visits, private parties, private vacations? No? Well, let me inform you. 2016, Botswana, their third date. For their third date, Harry actually took himself and Meghan to Botswana. 2017, Botswana again to celebrate Meghan Markle's birthday. 2017, 5 nights in Turkey at Yalikavak Bay. 2017, 7 days starting on New Year's, trip to Norway, where they spend a couple of days in a cabin in Tromsø. 2018, Amsterdam, a weekend for the launch of a new Soho house. 2019, Ibiza and the south of France. And let us not forget Meghan's baby shower, and let us not forget her attending Serena Williams's tennis match in New York. Once again, me, a dumb middle-aged woman living in an out-of-the-way town in a different country, could find this. So why or how is it possible that the British and American media could not do so and call them out on it? There is no way that Meghan could have travelled privately without her identification documents. Absolutely no way. So once again, a huge lie. Yet the media prefers not to address it as it does not suit the popular narrative. And it makes me even more angry that no one in the institution, be it a media liaison person or anyone else, a PA or spokesperson, had corrected the untrue and false allegations, leaving the majority of the ignorant out there to believe this lie. Okay, friends, I'm going to take a breather and I'm going to cut the video here. I'm not going to say goodbye though, because I will be back with part 2 in the next few hours. So I'll see you then. Thanks for listening so far. I just want to warn you that it gets worse.